Hi, Rabbi Sandy Zisser here. Welcome back to Judaism for Beginners. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Mishnah and the Talmud. So what is the Mishnah and what is the Talmud? Let's take a look. So the Mishnah is a compilation of all the laws that are found in the Torah that are then placed into what we will describe as the Mishnah for an easy location of these laws. Up until this point, before the 2nd century, before Yehuda Hanasi, who was a rabbi and the chief redactor of the Mishnah, before this period of time and before Yehuda Hanasi, in order to go find a piece of law, a piece of text, you'd have to go through the Torah, you'd have to know how to read it, and to interpret it, and to translate it, which meant a very select few could actually do that. So the 2nd century comes around, and Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi realizes that this is not effective, and it's also not open for the population to be able to find the answers they're looking for. So he creates what is called the Mishnah. Yehuda Hanasi was the leading key figure in the Jewish community in the Roman-occupied Judea in the 2nd century, and he has this concept. So the Mishnah is a compilation of legal opinions and debates. The book is known as to be considered a cornerstone book in Judaism. I used that term before as well for the Tanakh and for Torah. They are cornerstone books. Okay? The Mishnah itself is divided up into 63 tractates, and they provide background on every subject in halakha, in Jewish law, that's found in the oral Torah and the written Torah as well. Each tractate is a collection of about 50 to 100 parts to it. They're called Mishnayot, and meaning that the title given to the whole book is the same word used to describe the smallest part of that book. So the 63 sections are divided into 6 orders. We call those orders Sidarim, okay? And they're listed as follows. Zarim deals mostly with agricultural laws that are found in the land of Israel, if you live there. Remember that the majority of Jews were farmers from 2nd century onward, and they had to worry about the agriculture in the land. The next section is Moed, which deals with Shabbat and festivals, with the Sabbath and festivals. The next one is Nashim, dealing with marriages and family law. The next is Nizikin, which covers civil and criminal law and the court system. Then Kedoshim, which focuses on the temple and the divine service and what was centered around that. And finally, Taharot, dealing with diseases and the laws of purity. So all of these could be found in Torah, but it's much easier to go to a section of Mishnah and find the answer for the questions you may have. Next, we have the Talmud. Well, the Talmud is the rabbis' debates about the laws that are found in the Mishnah that come from the Torah and the oral law. Okay. The Talmud structure is very similar to the Mishnah. It has 6 orders, Sidarim. It has its general matters are divided up into 63 tractates, just like the Mishnah is. There are 2 versions: the Babylonian Talmud, which centered on Jewish life and scholarship and the development of Jewish law in Babylonia, and the Jerusalem Talmud, which was also known as the Palestinian Talmud, which centered on the scholarship and development of Jewish law in Jerusalem in Israel. So the key work that we look at are these 2 Talmudic volumes, the Babylonian Talmud and the Jerusalem Talmud, known as the Talmud Yerushalmi and the Talmud Bavli. The majority of people today follow the Talmud Bavli, the Babylonian Talmud text. It is more prevalent. So what you would see is that the Talmud is decades and decades and hundreds of years, actually thousands of years, of rabbinical discussion based on the Mishnah, based on the Torah. And you could have rabbis discussing and talking about topics in the Talmud dealing with laws and various subject matter where these rabbis never actually have to be sitting in the same room nor alive at the same time. They can actually be debating something that some rabbi said at some point in time and then giving another opinion about it. But when you read through it, it's almost as if they're all in the same room at the same time, which is a very, very interesting way of reading this text. It's like no other text we have. So without Yehuda Hanassi's work in the 2nd century, the Mishnah would not have been created, and because of that, the Talmud would also never have been created. It is the mainstay of Jewish law as we speak today.